All right. So you're here to learn about how technology can enhance your life. So one of the questions I have, there we go, is what activities do you do? I'm not talking about technology. What activities do you do that make your life better? Like I try to work out every day. All right. Walking.
Go to church.
Do what?
Go to church
Go to church.
regularly.
Walking, lifting,
Walking and
Weights, yeah.
lifting.
tennis.
Tennis. We're on an activities thing here. Good. For me, it's meditation and prayer. It's very important.
Yoga.
Yoga is good. Cooking enhances my life. I can cook. I've learned love how to cook, and cooking for other people. If they're brave enough to eat my cooking is fun. So I started thinking about technology, and this is something I wrestle with because I think I have ADHD, that I can go down rabbit holes,
I
and
know you do.
technology can become a tool of frustration and distraction. So I try to go through the mindset, if I'm going to take time to learn a technology, is it something that's going to enhance my life, what I'm doing, and not just a squirrel, which happens a lot with me. So I'm just going to show you a few things. I'm not going to teach you how to use the technology I'm showing you today. My goal today is to show you some things that I've taken time to learn to use that really enhance my life for the things that are important to me. So first of all, how many of y'all have ever used AI? One. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, probably everybody has, whether they know it or not, because it's in about everything. But I'm just going to go through a few things, and hopefully you can see the screen okay. And Cindy, I'm going to have to move the screen up. You're going to have to look at me.
I got it.
So the first thing is I use an email client. And I made some prompts here, so I can just copy and paste, except using a big screen. Okay, I'm going to ask my email this question. I remember reading an email a couple of weeks ago about Ash Wednesday stuff going on at church, but I don't know where that email is. And I try to keep a clean inbox. So I had very few emails, usually 0 in my inbox. So I just put, tell me about Ash Wednesday options at Haymarket Church. And I just push the button. And what it's going through is all my trash, archive, all my emails, and all of a sudden, there it says, it doesn't take me to the email. It tells me what's going on. It says, there's an in-person service at 7 p.m. tonight. Is that correct, Pastor Chelsea? There you go. So it's correct. There's a live stream. It even has the scripture there because I'm reading scripture. So it tells me what scripture I better remember to read tonight. So, boy, this has enhanced my email. I used to search for emails and I can find emails. This way, I don't even have to look for the email. I'm looking for information. Now, I'll tell you the email client I use is called Spark. It's centered around AI. And I seem to like it because it helps me manage my time. So that's my email right there. It says, we suggest checking your inbox at 6 p.m. It suggests I check my inbox twice a day, at 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Do I always follow its instructions? We're not going to talk about that. But it helps manage that. So that's one thing that I do. All right. The next thing I enjoy, any questions about email? Yeah.
Does it help you filter your emails and clean up some of the junk in the emails? Does it also do that? Or
Yes. Yes, it has, you can set up newsletters and promotions or something else. So I have two different aspects that those I can just look through real quick. And I'm just one that I have to delete stuff. I have to get it out. The other thing I do with my email, when I see an email, I try to be good at this. As soon as I see an email, I do something with it. I either trash it. I have a shortcut that takes it to my task manager and makes an automatic task for me. Or I have a read later app that I'm going to show you in a minute, and I send it to the read later app. Then it's out of my inbox. So every time I see an email, I should never come back to my inbox and see an email I've already looked at. Does that make sense? And it feels good. And this will congratulate me. Every time my inbox gets to zero, it says, you've done it again. Zero inbox. Have you looked, and maybe some of you look down and see the person sitting next to you that has 1,297 emails unread? That freaks me out. But that's how some people live. No problem with that. Okay. So the next thing that's important to me is cooking. So I have a prompt here. I am going to, let me close this screen to give me. So I'm going to, this is an AI through Google called Gemini. Now, this would work with all kinds of different AIs, but I'm using Gemini now. And I'm going to paste that. And what I'm asking is, I would like to make a classic grilled cheese and bacon sandwich tonight. Which of my devices would be the best way to cook it? Now, here's the reason that's important. Because in most AI, you have some places they call projects, some places they call profile. In Gemini, it's called a gem. So you can set up a gem, which means this is my personality I want you to use when doing this research. So I have one called Cooking for Pleasure. And I uploaded a bunch of e-cookbooks that I have. I have a really nice thing about how to wash vegetables, especially with Cindy being immunocompromised. It's a long book, but tells you every vegetable and how to soak it to make sure you get all the bacteria and everything off of it. And I'd have to go through and flip through it to find the vegetable. I added it. So now I can just put in there, how do I clean carrots? It brings it and shows it. But I have all these cooking devices that I bought that Cindy laughs at me about. You know, griddle, grills, air fryers and all that. Well, I told my cooking gym all the different devices I have. So I want a grilled cheese with bacon sandwich tonight. What device would be best? And actually what I need to do, I need to put it under my cooking gym. So let me do that there. And then I hit go. And let's see what it says. All right, to achieve, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says achieve the best outcome. Here are your options of what you have at your house. You have a solo stainless steel griddle, or I also have the made-in carbon steel griddle for inside. So it tells me this is why that would be a good device to cook this recipe on. Let's see if it says it. Oh, it says an air fryer. Another option you have is an air fryer. I know you have an air fryer. Here's how you would use an air fryer. Oh, and I have a new Breville Waffle Maker Pro. And it says you can also use the Waffle Maker Pro, and here's how you would use it. And then we go down and, oh, there's a quick reference of how to do the onions, tomatoes, and lettuce, because it knows that's in the recipe. So it knows I need to know how to wash those because of some of my other searches. So it's already telling me how to prepare my vegetables to make sure they're clean before I use them. And that just did that in 10 seconds. I think that's pretty awesome. Pretty cool? All right. So another thing, how many of y'all does anybody use a recipe app when you cook? Here's a gift for your spouse. When I started cooking during COVID, I asked Cindy if I could take over cooking, and she really wrestled me over it, but no, she said, sure. Yeah. I needed some way to organize, and I did some research, and I found the Paprika app. Anybody heard of the Paprika app? If you cook and you like to be organized, it will blow your mind. It plans meals for you. I upload recipes automatically to it. You have categories. You can't see it much. I probably have 400 or 500 recipes in there, categorized. But what I love, each weekend, I go in and hit the meals, and I can plan all my meals for the week. And when I go to like tonight, I'm supposed to make ham and asparagus quiche. So it takes me right to the recipe. But here's what's even better. How many of you have read or online, see an email and say, oh, that recipe looks great. I would love to cook that someday. What do you do with that recipe? Or you see a web page, you go to America's Test Kitchen, you see a recipe, that looks really good. What do you do with that recipe? Print it, okay? I want you to watch this. So, I'm going to show you a couple of things here. First of all, how do I get rid of that? Just to make it easier, I'm going to America's Test Kitchen, which I have a membership to. All right, and then I'm going to open up my side panel for Gemini. And actually, I take it back. There was a different Blackstone. I was going to go to Blackstone recipes. And I want to say, find me a smoked meatball recipe on this website. Now here's what's going to scare you. When I push this button, I want you to see what it does. So it's taking a look, it's gathering details. And it gave me the recipe over here. But I've said, can you find it on this website? Okay. Something's not going wrong here. All right. Well, so I'll do something different on this, but I'm going to show you how my recipe app works. Let's say I want to do this French toast recipe. What's happening here? French toast recipe. Come on. Oh, there we go. So I make a recipe. I have a little app up here called Save Recipe. I hit Saved Recipe. It's downloading the recipe. Wouldn't you know that something's not working with the Wi-Fi here. Okay, so dinner on the Blackstone, I just said save recipe. So I go back over here to my Paprika app. and I go to recent recipes, and there it is. It just downloaded it into my recipe app. So anytime you see a recipe anywhere that you want, you just download it in the Paprika, and all of a sudden it's all there, ingredients, everything in the Paprika. And by the way, once you put your menus together for the week, you can hit shopping list, and it lists everything, all those recipes that you need. And then you can just take off what you don't need that you might already have. And I love working with a recipe app like that.
What is the recipe app?
It's called Paprika.
Paprika.
Paprika free recipe manager. It's on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer. I have my iPad in the kitchen, so I just look it up. And when I'm doing a recipe, it says cook for 3 minutes. You hit the 3 minutes and it times it for you. Yeah, there's a lot of neat things going on there.
How do you find Gemini?
Gemini, you just search Gemini and you'll see, go to a web browser. It works best with Chrome. One of my problems is I don't use Chrome. The Gemini works better with Chrome, so I'm learning how to use Chrome a little better. But just go to your web browser and type in Gemini. You can use it free, but there's some paid versions too.
And then you type your question in the Gemini.
Yep. You can set up your profiles, like you could set up one for your book study. Say, here's the type of books I like to study. I want to show you the different profiles I have on Gemini. So if I go back over to Gemini, I have a personal cruise planner. That's what I use when I plan a cruise for Cindy and I. It knows the cruise lines we like, the type of trips we like to take. It knows I do points and miles. So when I ask questions, it's answering me based on everything I've done. And by the way, like this morning, I was asking about a stopover in London. It says, oh, well, I see you're going to be in a cruise out of Athens. I'm assuming you're stopping in London on your way to Athens. Here's some things I would suggest you do. So it helps. The other, one of the other ones I have is my cooking one we talked about. I have two for my travel business. One is how to use my technology. I have a, sorry, Cindy.
It's okay.
I have a software that manages my clients' travel. It's pretty amazing. It uses a lot of AI too. It will bill the clients. It will track everything we're doing. It tracks emails. It sends out all this stuff. You can set up workflows. You can set up automations. And I didn't want this travel advisory business to become a job. When I was trying to learn how to use this software, it felt like it was becoming a job. So I just said, I'm just going to do basic. I don't want that many clients anyway. But then I started using Gemini and Claude. And I said, I use Turn software for my travel business, and it's overwhelming for me. Can you help me? And I said, I have ADHD, I think. And my son diagnosed me, by the way, not a doctor.
And his wife
And
agrees.
I said, and I'm getting frustrated, but I know this can do so much more. And it asked me, would you open it up on the screen and let me see what you have set up? I opened it up. It analyzed everything. It says, I can see some of your problem. It said, your task and workflows are exactly not what you need with ADHD. Let me help you set it up. And it took me step by step. And when I started doing it, it would tell me what to do and says, just copy and paste this into your workflow. And I did that. About 2 weeks ago, Gemini started using like a coworker where it will actually run your browser for you. So 2 weeks ago, I was able to go, can you change this workflow like you suggest? And it says, will you give me permission to run your computer? And I went, yes. And it went in and typed everything in my computer and set my software up like I needed to. Yeah.
that long sentence that you just gave into Gemini, or are you talking to it?
You can do either one.
The little line there to type in your question is just a little line.
Yeah, but it will keep going. But the good thing is all that information I was saying I put in there, you just put in once. And then it knows these things. The information continues in there, and it will refer to that later. So I'm going to try an experiment here and show you how this agent works. So come on. Let me steal my prompt here. Okay. I'm going to our website. What's our website address? There we go,
ghrotary.org. Well, I'm glad you're going there.
gh.org. Except you got to spell. All right. How come? Sorry, this is Wi-Fi problems. Well, it's not going to our website for some reason. I think because the Wi-Fi here is so slow. Well, I'm going to give that a minute. If some of you have used AI, how have you used it?
I use it every single day, all day long throughout the day. I have a couple different versions. I have my own personal paid version that I use, and I have required AI things called Content Gem, which is built for my company just to run stuff internal so it doesn't get out. And it's honestly just I'm to a point now where I don't know what I would do if I didn't have it. I think I would actually have a mental breakdown if I tried to log into some of my AI support generators and they didn't fire up. I mean, we had today I had a meeting with the Department of the Army, and one of the master sergeants is working on something for completely random, right? But because of our relationship, we're trying to get an artist to do a rendering for the birthday of the Army and the Signal Corps. That's a tech signal communication side. And we can't find anywhere. We've called all these organizations inside the Department of War. We can't get a rundown of all of the signal equipment that has been used over the history of the Signal Corps, about 150 years. Is there anything you could do to help us? And I'm kind of like, why are you asking me this? You could go to so many different places, historians in the Department of War, in the Army, at Fort Gordon. But apparently a lot of the places they've gone to because of budget cuts, they've cut the historians. They've cut a lot of these key individuals who have maintained this information over time. So I went into my personal ChatGPT. I said, act as my research assistant and create for me a visual reference of all the technology used in the United States Army Signal Corps from its inception to today's date. Start with things as simple as smoke and the wigwag flag systems used in the early years of America to today, where we are using satellites, AI, and all kinds of groovy stuff, right? Then I need citations for everything. I need a photo. I need you to cite where you received the photo from to give me an idea of, in a write-up, what the history of the Signal Corps looks like, but also visually what the technology looks like. And in about 30 seconds, it spit out a 30-page PDF, beautifully laid out, with talking points, narrative, exum, and then it laid it out in like eras, kind of every 20 so years of how the technology has progressed. Then it had photos on a timeline. So I looked through that. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. This is like really, really awesome. But we're missing some key things that I personally know exist because I use them. So I plugged it in. I said, I need you to add an annex for large tactical signal equipment that's been used throughout the history of the Signal Corps. Think of items like boom, boom, and boom that I see missing currently in the PDF that you created. 30 seconds, poof, an annex formulated to match the first PDF that it created as an attachment with additional large tactical equipment that's been used over the last 150 years. Took me a minute.
It is
Um,
crazy.
Wow.
And, lot of them, like mine, I have to be, it apologizes all the time. It will give me information that's amazing. I'll say, but I think you missed this. And it will go, you're exactly right. I'm sorry, I overlooked that. But I'm going to show you something here. You can't see this, but I'm at our website. And hopefully the Wi-Fi works, but I just put in this prompt. I would like to be a sponsor of the Battle of the Paddles. What are my options to spend up to $1,000? So I'm going to press this. And first of all, it's going to give me information on the side panel, what those options are. So it started. You might not see that blue. It says task started. Look, it's actually running my computer. And it tells you on the sidebar exactly what it's doing. It will not purchase anything or make commitments for you without stopping and saying, you have to approve this. Because I'm not going to throw $1,000 in today, hopefully. I just checking the calendar. That's all right. So it's going to the calendar. I don't know why it went to the calendar. When I did this at home, it went right to the paddle for the pickleball. So it's still working. You see, there's a thing at the top that says take over task. And we'll keep that running because it's doing it. I could step away and I mean, it can plan, it can find the cruise, it can book the cruise for me. It won't push the last button, but it will do all that for you. Somebody else has some AI, the way you use AI, Mark? You had
So something?
Mm-hmm.
much like Indira, I have a small business. I started a company that helps military members as they transition into the corporate space. 21 years of Air Force for me and 20 years in the corporate community. So with my business, I'm able to take my website, and it's an app that's called Google LM Notebook. Put my web page address into the app and told it, hey, I want you to build a podcast. So it has a male and a female coming together and conducting a podcast on all the information on my website. So I can send that out to my clients and or any other activity I want to send out to my clients in ahead of time so they can understand what I have available to offer. So it is amazing. The one thing about the technology, though, as I ride around our community and see all these data centers, I get frustrated and like, that's ugly. But you can't live life without it now. So it's sort of a give and take with the technology. Anybody else?
Yeah, how do you use AI, Donna?
Well, I didn't think I did, but I've been trying to get rid of a timeshare. And it's been very frustrating. And then I said, well, Mark uses AI. So I don't know, I just said typed AI. I don't know who I was using, the fucking thing I was using. And it came up with these phone numbers that I'd never tried before.
Ah.
So then my daughter said, are you sure they were legitimate, Mom?
You do have to be careful with AI. That's a scary part too, because AI is generating photos and videos and stuff. That's really, to me, it's very scary.
Yeah, I never realized AI, whenever I Google or use Chrome and ask a question, AI provides the answer.
It is now.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's why we have all these data centers. So there's some pushback with AI because it's so power hungry. There are some, I know Apple Intelligence, which is not real good right now, but the way they started and what they're working on is to have more of the AI in their microchip, the silicon chip, which if that's the case, it's going to put all the other AI generators out of the business because it's not going to use near as much power. Some of the reason I know this, my son is an executive at one of the largest utility companies and is a natural gas trader. And AI is making his company a fortune right now because it's his responsibility to sell power to all these. And he says Prince William County draws more power than almost any county in the whole United States. And we hadn't even opened up most of the data centers yet. So it is crazy and it's draining resources from other places. So I'm hoping that they will come. I mean, AI is here to stay. It can make a huge difference in our lives, but it also can be very challenging. So obviously we need regulation. We need that to catch up. But every generation has something, that we're fearful of. When I was in elementary school, we were duck and cover. Did of y'all have those duck and cover? Anybody remember those? You remember where you would get under your desk in case, Russia came and bombed us.
Yeah.
So we all have scary things. So that's why I go to church. So anyway, unfortunately, for some reason, it went to different websites and tried to sign me up for a different pickleball contest. But I wonder, our website is down. Uh-oh, that's not good.
I've asked Chris to update the website with information on the scholarship. He has the new application out there, but it still has right information on the front.
I wonder if he's working on their website. That's the whole reason they did that, because our website, none of the information.
This morning, but
So anyway, AI can't fix a website. So thank you for, do you want to do the raffle, Mark, for being here today? And thank you, Cindy, for putting up